Hello, Woo students. My name is Andy Main, and today we're going to talk about two ways that you can get involved in organized sports here at Western Oregon University. Now, the two options are intramural sports and club sports, and both of those options are programs within our campus recreation department, as you see here. We have many other offerings, including an aquatic center, fitness classes, outdoors, and many more. To sign up for any of those, including what we're going to talk about today, intramurals and club sports, you'll want to go to imleagues.com. And to make sure you know how to get to that site, create an account, and navigate it, I encourage you to watch our other video on how to create an account and navigate IM Leagues. We'll talk about that a lot more as we progress as well. So we're going to start with intramural sports. Now, intramural sports, the way those work is you get a group of your friends, your roommates, or even employees of Western Oregon University, like your professors or staff. All those folks are eligible to form a team and sign up for any of our many intramural sports. So as you can kind of see here in some of the pictures, it's a low-key way to participate in a sport that you enjoy or even a new one that you want to try. Most intramural teams are made up of folks that have made friendships here at Western Oregon and just want to compete in a particular sport against other teams. So once you've signed up for that activity, whichever sport you want to play, myself and my staff of student employees, both intramural supervisors and referees, we coordinate the leagues and we communicate out to you when you need to come play. And then when you get here, our referees officiate the games. We keep track of the standings, and it has the feel of a normal sports league. Intramurals are pretty low key. They're probably the most low key of any way to do an organized sports at pretty much any university, including Western Oregon. Most teams don't practice. Some may, and you can if you like. But for the most part, you just show up on game day with your friends and play the game. No practices, usually no coaches. Again, it's just kind of designed to be low-key way to play against other Woo teams. And also, you'll see when you play intramurals there's a wide variety of skills. Folks that are trying a sport for the first time, as well as folks that maybe played it, at a high level in high school. So you're going to kind of get a good mix of experience levels within intramurals. So how's it work? Well, you can kind of see from these pictures and from the slide, which we'll go into now, there's a wide variety of different intramural sports activities that you can sign up for. Some of maybe, the less mainstream sports, like you see here, there's badminton and some cornhole, as well as a lot of your more mainstream sports that you're going to see, football, volleyball, basketball, soccer, softball, etc. We also break those up into two different formats. So one format of intramurals, which is the league format, and you see here on this slide the different leagues we offer, that is a longer commitment. In the league format, when you sign up for that, you'll have to pay a team fee for most of them so that we can pay our referees. But once you've signed up and paid your fee, you're going to play 3 or 4 weeks of regular season games where you're playing 1 or 2 nights a week. And then at the end of that regular season period, we separate the teams out into playoffs. And what we do is for the teams that have had a really successful regular season, the teams with winning records, they go in one playoff bracket. And the teams that maybe were playing more for fun and didn't have a lot of wins, we put them in a separate playoff bracket. So everything can kind of be even for the playoffs. And in both brackets, the eventual championship team, the eventual champion team, their whole team wins an intramural championship shirt. So that's why in these pictures you see folks holding up an example of that championship shirt that each one of their players will get. So it becomes kind of a coveted prize to see how many championship shirts you can win in intramurals. We also offer tournament format, an evening commitment, where you come down, you play a whole round robin or double elimination style tournament in that sport, and then you're done. So that's a shorter commitment, and those are all typically free of charge to participate in those. And in those, if you win, you also receive a championship t-shirt. Within both the league format and the tournament format, there's going to be options. You can get a team of men together and sign up for the men's league, or women for the women's league. We also have co-rec leagues within each one of these, where you have to have an even number of male and female on the team at a time, or the open league, where gender doesn't matter. Any gender can participate in any ratio in those open leagues. And again, to sign up for any of those, it's on imleagues.com. A couple things I want to highlight about our intramural program that are pretty exciting is we've recently expanded into esports, and we're currently planning to offer primarily sports themed games, such as you see there, NBA 2K, Madden, FIFA, Rocket League, or others that we've offered. Those are free, and those will operate more in the league format. So we'll help you all match up to play matches against others at Woo in that particular sport for a regular season period, and then we'll do a playoff. Also, if you're a new student or if you're a student leader like an RA or a plus team leader or an ambassador, what we have is something called new student games, and that'll be coming up the second week of classes. And those are restricted just to new students and their student leaders. So, for example, a new student could team up with their RA to compete in new student games, but no one else would be eligible. The idea is to get new students an opportunity to be exposed to intramural sports with the help from a returning student to get them exposed and see how it all works. New student games this year, again, will be on week 2 of classes, and there'll be smaller tournaments on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. We'll be offering a Hot Shots basketball tournament, a cornhole tournament, and a penalty kick shootout tournament on those 3 nights. So encourage you to look into that, find someone to play with, and sign up. So as we all know, we're being faced with a pandemic now, and that does impact intramural sports. So for the time being, right now we'll be offering sports that are primarily online, like esports, and other sports that can accommodate social distancing and mask wearing, like the ones I mentioned for new student games, things like cornhole. Anything that's going to require close contact, like basketball, football, volleyball, at this time we won't be able to offer. But we still hope to have a lot of sports available for you to sign up for, and hopefully you'll check those out. Okay, if it seems like maybe you want to up your game a little bit beyond that, we suggest club sports. Club sports are, if you're not familiar already, it's kind of like an extension of maybe what you experienced playing varsity or club level sports at the high school level. So as you can see from this slide, we have a number of different club sports teams, and in these, you're representing Woo and you're competing against other universities. Our club sport teams frequently play and quite honestly beat schools like Oregon State, Oregon, Portland State, and many others in the area in those sports leagues. So in those, you are going to expect to practice. You will probably have a coach. You'll travel to other campuses to compete, and you will compete for league championships and even sometimes regional and national championships, depending on the club sport you choose. Club sports are student-led. Myself and the campus rec department helps guide the students that are the leaders of each one of these teams. But it's a great opportunity that, once you've tried it and you enjoy it as a player, to consider being a president or a vice president of your club sport, so you can help guide the team, make decisions for the team, and make sure that everyone's pulling in the same direction. A little bit more about club sports. How does it work? So anyone can join. We don't do cuts in club sports, even though it can be highly competitive. Anyone can come out, anyone can practice. Whether or not you're in the starting lineup, of course, is up to the coaches, but we don't do cuts. If you want to be a part of a club sport team, you will be a part of that. As I said, you'll want to expect to have a coach and regular practices scheduled during your season. And most club sports need to collect player dues to help them operate, pay for jerseys, travel, etc. So you will expect to need to pay your team a player due to participate, and that amount ranges a lot from sport to sport. It can be as low as $20 or over 100, depending on the sport you're interested in. As you can see here on this slide, we've had a lot of success as club sport teams. Our women's soccer club has been represented at the national tournament. They were league champs in 2018, and even more recently than that, our men's basketball club were champions of the conference, of the Northwest Conference, and many of our other clubs have seen high success. So it's a great way to kind of get competitive and represent Woo. The two things I want to highlight about club sports is, first of all, we have something called a club sports player of the week. So every week during the seasons, we pick one player from a team that excelled, and they're picked, and we utilize our social media to announce the winner of that club sport player of the week. As in the example you see here was a young lady named Deidre, who was actually on 2 club sport teams. Well, actually 3, but in this case, we were honoring her for being a standout in both women's rugby as well as a goalie for our women's club soccer team. She also played and founded the women's club basketball team. And also, a number of our club sports are expanding into having live streams. We have a great opportunity on our turf field and in our gym to live stream matches so parents back at home, friends and family can watch. And here's an example of that when our rugby teams did a live stream, and then our Woo TV team was nice enough to create this little highlight package. So let's take a look at that. So yeah, so as you can see there, our club sports can be pretty intense and organized, and rugby in particular can be that. But it's a great way to again get involved, and we try to promote these programs as best we can with these players of the week and live streams. Again, just as with intramurals, the COVID pandemic is going to have an impact on how we can operate club sports until that has gone away. So we are still encouraging club teams to add players to their roster and accept new members, but the level of competition that we'll be able to do until the pandemic gets past is going to be limited. So most teams are going to be able to do some form of modified practices with social distancing and or masks on. But until the pandemic clears, we won't be able to get back to normal club sports that includes travel and competition. But in the meantime, we still encourage you to join a team and start to get to know the players and hopefully do a few practices. Here's a way you can stay connected and make sure you know how to be involved and when deadlines are to sign up for teams and to follow things like our Club Sport Player of the Week. So as you can see here, our Campus Rec Instagram, as well as our Club Sport Specific and Intramural Sports. We would definitely encourage you to join those, follow those on Instagram so you can keep up with what's going on. So as we mentioned, intramurals and club sports is one of the many programs and activities that you can do through our campus recreation department. And if you have questions specifically on intramural sports or club sports, this guy here is me. So feel free to use that contact information to send me any questions or comments you have about intramural or club sports. And so that is all I have for you today. I hope this was an informative presentation for you. And again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at any time to learn more about intramural or club sports here at Western Oregon University. Have a great time here at WU, and we hope to see you out there on the field.